So it's the time when companies will file their 13Fs, and we'll get to see some interesting information about them. And if they're a fund, then we'll get to see all the companies that they added. So this video is about Sofi's 13F that they filed and what was written in those 13F that is worth sharing. And this video, please take it for what it's worth. This is just an assumption after reading some of the statement and some of the items in their 13F that I'm making. And please comment in the description if you understand what I'm understanding here, or if you have any other information, please do share with all of us. Now, before I get into the video, very quickly, we just started our Discord and I'll post a link in the description and also pin as a comment under this video. So if you're interested, then check it out, and also thank you for all those who have joined. I have opened about 100 slots for this round and looks like we are already getting close to being full, so thank you each one of you. And as a reminder, please click on the like button and consider subscribing so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you enjoy investing, then consider joining the Patreon and Discord to take conversation further. Okay, so coming back to the video. So I got notification from few funds that they have added Sofi, and it's not worth making video on each one of them. Once I will have a majority of those notifications, then I'll make a video to show you which funds added Sofi and at what quantity. For now, let's talk about Sofi's 13F and what they said about the bank charter. This is really interesting. So on page 27 of their 13F, Sofi talks about bank charter. Well, they talk about bank charter at many places, but this is where they talk about the lawsuit impact, and this was really interesting. So let me read that out, and as a reference, some of you have commented in my previous video that Sofi's bank charter is in trouble because of the lawsuit, and to that I have said that Sofi will find a way, but looks like they already have a written agreement with Golden Pacific. So let's take a look over here. So let's read this. So I'm going to start reading from here. So Golden Pacific Bank National Association, or GPB, for total cash purchase consideration of 22.3 million, of which approximately 0.7 million could be held back by a company in escrow. What is the reason for holding this amount back, or 0.7 million back? If certain legal proceedings with which Golden Pacific is involved as a plaintiff are not resolved at the time of bank merger closes, the holdback amount will be used for further financing or cost incurred associated with the litigation and any remaining amount upon resolution of the litigation. That is the reason they have already written, if Golden Pacific Bank get into any trouble, then they are going to basically use this money, $0.07 million right here, for those purposes and for litigation. So they were kind of pre-aware, or it's a standard language that if there is a merger going on, then there could be somebody from the other company side can come in and sue, and this is what's going on, and that's why they have written. So now this looks like Sofi already have the language and knows that things like these can happen. So I don't think it's a question of if bank charter will happen or is bank charter in trouble. It's the question of when bank charter will happen, and we can find more info in the next paragraph. So take a look over here, and this is really interesting. In order to be compliant with all applicable regulations right here, to operate to a satisfaction of a banking regulators and to successfully execute our business plan for the bank, Sofi has been building out required infrastructure to run the bank and operate as a bank holding company. Now I'm gonna jump to this part here. We have incurred direct costs associated with securing a national bank charter of 4.4 million and 13.6 million. Remember this number, 4.4 million and 13.6 million, respectively, which consisted of professional fees and compensation and benefit cost. While largely dependent on the timing of the regulatory approval, we estimate that we could incur additional cost of approximately 4 million through the remainder of the regulatory approval process. Now pay attention to the line before this. So this is where they're saying, we have invested and expect to continue to invest substantial time, money, and human resources towards bank readiness and towards the regulatory approval process. During the 3 and 9 months ended September 30, right here, during the 3 and 9 months ended September 30, 2021, we incurred direct costs associated with securing a national bank charter of 4.4 million and 3.6 million, respectively. So 4.4 million was for the 3 month, right here, leading up to September 30th, and 13.6 million was the total cost for about 9 months that ended on September 30th. Then they're saying, we estimate that we could incur additional cost of about 4 million through the remainder of the regulatory process. So it has already costed them about $4.4 million and $13.6 million in the last 3 months and 9 months. Now this is where I feel we have an approval hint. So let's take a look again. They're saying that 4 million remainder for the regulatory approval process. So if you read the statement before this, they said it costed them 4.4 million in the last 3 months. and now they are saying it'll cost them additional 4 million. So I think if you calculate since September 30th, when they were saying this closing statement right here, September 30th of 2021, they're hinting for early Jan as the bank charter approval. And this is what I mentioned in my previous video, that we are going to see approval close to the end of the year and start of the banking process in the early January. Let's see when that happens, but this kind of gives us some approximate idea that they are estimating $4 million more to be spent in the regulatory process, and last time they spent about $4.4 million in the span of 3 months. Next, I'm going to read something really interesting. Take a read over here. So, because we are not a bank holding company, however, we are not permitted to offer members an interest rate of their Sofi or on their Sofi money account balance, which is higher than the interest rate we receive from our partner banks. So technically, even if they want to, they cannot offer more interest rate to the member by law. So this puts them in a big disadvantage because they cannot now offer their own members, even if they want to, by law, a higher interest rate than what they're getting from the partner bank. And in the next paragraph, they're talking about the risk for some reason if they did not receive the bank charter. They're saying that they will have adverse effect on their business and their stock price. Take a look over here. This is what they're saying. Ultimately, if we are unable to obtain National Bank Charter due to failure to obtain the necessary regulatory approval for the acquisition of Golden Pacific Bank and its National Bank subsidiary, Golden Pacific National Association, then our ability to improve our capital efficiency, funding resilience, margin, and our stock price may be adversely affected right here. Our stock price, and this is really interesting, our stock price may also decline to the extent that the current market price reflects a market assumption that we would obtain a national bank charter. So they are basically saying that if they do not receive the bank charter approval, then the stock price will fall really bad because the assumption or the people buying the stock are already basically thinking that they will receive the bank charter, which is very true. All us investors right now, or when we bought the stock that they are going to get the bank charter news well in advance, and of course that's going to push the stock higher. And the reason why I wanted to bring your attention to this point is basically they're also saying that the current stock price may already have the assumption built in that the bank charter is going to happen, and if it doesn't happen, the stock is going to fall. But what's going to happen after they receive the bank charter news? After they receive the bank charter news, the stock is going to sell off, in my opinion, or the price is going to drop because all the assumptions that was built in is going to be people will come in and will start taking profits, which is absolutely fine because people will take profit after the charter news. It's a catalyst, sell the news always happens. After a few days, the stock will recover and will make new higher highs. No doubt it's a long-term company. But if you have options that's expiring, I would say in a month or so after the charter news, I would get out of those options actually the day they announce the charter. Don't even wait, or I would not even wait another day. Again, my opinion only, entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just a YouTube video. But this is what I got out of it, that after reading this statement, I will absolutely, definitely will get out of my calls and puts as soon as the bank charter is announced, because this is a hype that will be created, and after that people will come out and of course take profits. I might hold all my shares or maybe sell some and then buy at a lower price. I'm not sure yet. We will see how the price action happens. So I'm confident that Anthony Noto will get the bank charter done in time, and they have already spent so much money and time in the process, and we are very close. I will link my initial Sofi video over here. Do check it out, as the potential of this company is huge and they are taking all the right steps. If I provided some value, then consider subscribing and hit the like button so we can reach out to more Sofi lovers. And as a reminder, I will be traveling the week of Thanksgiving, so won't have many videos coming out that week. It's a pleasure to share all of this with you. Until next time, you all have a sparkling day.